Hi, episode 5 of SpeakWrite with Sid on Phoenix Dreams. Welcome back to all of you. Today what I'm going to do, and in fact not just today, over the next 2 weeks, today's session and the session next Saturday, I'm going to specifically talk about 7 sentences. 7 sentences which trouble people a lot, which have a lot of people confused about what exactly is their right usage, and at times end up making a mistake. So let me at the onset straight away tell you which these 7 sentences are. The first one is I do. The second one is I did. The third one is I did do. The fourth one is I didn't knew. Number 5, I didn't understood. Number 6, I had. And the last one is I have had. Now, like I said, these seven sentences flummox a lot of people. But what we're going to do in these 2 sessions is understand them. Now, one thing to note over here, I'm not saying that all these 7 sentences that I mentioned are all grammatically correct. In fact, some of them are right, some of them are wrong. And in these 2 sessions, we'll understand which ones are right, which ones aren't, and the reason for them to be right or wrong. But before we begin the elaboration on that, I want you to very quickly have a look at these 7 sentences once again and spend some time looking at them. So here we go, have a look please. Right, so let's begin. We will tackle 3 sentences today, and we'll leave the other 4 for the next session next Saturday. We'll focus on I do, I did, and I did do. So let's start with the first one. I do. Now, what confuses a lot of people is the double usage of the word do. Why is do used twice in this sentence? What does I do mean? Now, for that, you've got to understand the meaning of the word do. Do is along with is one of the simplest forms of verbs. Do is a plain action word. It doesn't specifically mention what is it that you're doing, but it communicates that an action is being taken, and a verb is an action word anyway. So do indicates action without specifying what that action is. Now, to understand the double usage, let's take another verb. Let's take the verb talk. And if you were to normally speak in the present simple tense with the verb, with the noun I would say I talk. So imagine a specific situation where I've met somebody for the first time, and I am silent through the entire conversation, through the entire interaction or meeting. And this guy doesn't hear me speak at all. Maybe we're in the meeting and I'm the silent spectator. And out of that frustration, this person finally asks me, but Siddharth, do you talk? So what I would say to him is that, yes, sir, I do talk. So you're stressing the fact. Now in this sentence, I do talk, there are 2 verbs. The verb do and the verb talk. The verb do is used to specifically, stress on the point that, yes, I do talk, which means I have the ability, and in normal circumstances, and that's what present simple means, in normal circumstances, I do talk. So to stress the second verb, which is talk, you put the first verb, the primary verb, I do talk. Now, in a similar case, if somebody were to ask me, and somebody who's a friend of mine, who's given me a certain advice that this is what I think you should keep on doing normally. Now, we're talking to each other, and he remembers that he's asked me to do something on a regular basis. And he doesn't want anyone else to know what, people around to know what we're talking about. So he asked me, Siddharth, do you do what I asked you to do? So my response to him would be, because I want to stress the fact that I am doing what he has told me to do, I say to him that, yes, my friend, I do. It is left unsaid. Yes, I do. So I do. Instead of talk, I do do what you'd ask me to do. So that's what I do means. I do on a regular basis, do what is normally expected of me. So that's what I do means. Now moving on to the second one, I did. Now this very plainly seems to be the past tense of I do, because the past tense of do is did. So common sense would tell you that if I were to convert the sentence I do into past tense, I would make it I did. But the fact is, if you remember your mathematics, two negatives make a positive. So there are two verbs in this sentence, the two do's. If I want to convert the sentence into the past tense, if I convert both the verbs in the past tense, I reach an illogical sentence, which means I only have to convert one of the verbs into past tense, and that's why I convert the first word into past tense. So what I say as a past tense to I do is I did do, not I did, which means again if the same person asks me that have you been, maybe he doesn't expect me to do it today, have you been doing what I have asked you to do? So my response, or did you do yesterday that would be more apt. Did you do yesterday what I have been asking you to do? So my response to him would be, I don't want to specify what is it that he has told me to do. So I say, yes, I did do it. So I did do. If I say to him, yes, I did it, it doesn't make sense because you're using two past tenses in two verbs in the same sentence. You don't do that. To convert a sentence from present tense to past tense, you need to convert only one verb. If there are multiple verbs in the sentence, you only need to convert one verb in the past tense, and you change the first verb into past tense, not the second one. So I did doesn't make any sense at all. You can't change the second verb into past tense. You can't change both verbs into the past tense. So you change only the first verb into past tense, and you say I did do. So the first three sentences we spoke about, I do, I did, and I did do. I do is absolutely grammatically correct because you're stressing that you do normally do something. The second one, I did is not right because you're converting both verbs into past tense forms. Two negatives make a positive. So the third one automatically becomes right because here is when you convert only one verb into the past tense to convert the entire sentence into past tense. So the past tense of I do would be I did do. Right? Now that's where we'll halt here. I don't want to put too much confusion at one go. We'll talk about the next 4 sentences next week, but try and link what I said to what we're going to talk next week. The next 2 sentences we're going to focus on is I didn't knew and I didn't understood. So from what we've learned today, try and make a link and see and ask yourself whether these 2 sentences are right or they aren't. I didn't knew and I didn't understood. Right? So you have a week to think about it. Please do that. Thoughts in the comment section. And if you liked what you watched today, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care.